Hey, everybody, welcome back to Collagen College. We have another great episode for you. We're going to be talking about the different types of collagen, the 5 types of collagen in particular. But before we get into it, I just want to ask Dr. Cate one question. Do you have your Collagen College t shirt on?
I have my t-shirt starched, ironed, pressed, and on.
Awesome. So do I. Mine isn't ironed, so you may see a little bit of wrinkles. It's right out of the dryer, but it is clean, and that's the most important thing. And this is a really fundamental conversation about collagen, and this is the reason why we're doing these videos, right? We not only want to talk through the basic questions that people have about collagen, like types of collagen, but also more advanced topics. I'm going to hold up one of our collagen containers here, and you probably can't see it on the camera, but right here at the bottom we have type 1, type 2, type 3, type 5, and type 10 in Roman numerals. Yes, Roman numerals are making a comeback. Our unflavored also has it, more so on the side of the label. When you're shopping for collagen supplements, these are the things that you see on the packages, right? Do you see these in Roman numerals?
Do you want to talk about even why it's Roman numerals? Because that's kind of interesting, actually. It has to do with the histology, right? So we're talking about these are things that are discovered by people who work deep inside the basement labs in the dark, and they're really high-tech, sciencey people, and they're discovering these different types of collagen, and they put Roman numerals on them because they were first discovered, like 100 years ago. Like type 1 collagen was the first type that was discovered, and it has a Roman numeral because it's the way histologists do things.
It seems like there's two separate conversations going on here. The first one is just this idea of the types of collagen that we have in our bodies. And we're gonna, if you Google types of collagen, you're gonna find all kinds of different numbers. The NCBI stands for National Center for Biotechnology Information. I had to look that up. States that there's 16 types. And then there's a study on Science Direct that says that there's 28 types. And I'm sure you're going to find more types as you continue to Google and do your research. And then there's another conversation that people are having where it's types of collagen in today's collagen supplement. We've chosen to be a multi-source collagen, which means that we're going to have 5 types, right? So there's two things going on here. And
Yeah, and so like I guess the key thing to appreciate is that your body has a whole bunch of different types of collagen, and that's because your body has a lot of different body parts. And when it comes to the fundamental, like what is this human being made of kind of stuff, you need different types of collagen for different functions. Some have to have a lot of tensile strength, some have to have the ability to be stretched in multiple dimensions, not just that one tensile strength, right? So like there's type 1 collagen is very good with tensile strength. Other types of collagen are very good with multiple directions, and those have to be like in your skin or organs that stretch in multiple dimensions versus your ligaments, which really just stretch really along mostly one plane.
so we're going to try to zoom out a little bit and talk through the different types of collagen, which, if you're a multi source collagen supplement, which is what we are, that's 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. So we're going to talk through the different types, the sources of those, where most of it is found in the bodies, just to kind of give people a frame of reference. And then we're also going to talk through, do you even need all 5 types of collagen? So let's just go ahead and dive in, DC, and talk through the first type of collagen, which is type 1 collagen, Roman numeral 1, right? Which is probably the most common type of collagen that you're going to find in a collagen supplement, and it's the most abundant in our bodies.
Yeah, type 1 collagen is type 1 because they found it first, and they found it first because there's the most of it. It's also, it's present in really every tissue in our body in some degree, but it's most present in the tissues that need the most tensile strength. So that's going to be bone and ligament and tendon and skin. And so the reason that's, I guess, important is because when you eat type 1 collagen, then it has the most benefit to those same tissues as well, even though it's present in probably every tissue in minute amounts, at least, to some degree there. But really, the significance is to the tissues that need the most of it. and those are the ones that deal with the most tensile strength.
I love that point. Eating the like type 1 collagen in certain animals directly has an impact and will be used by the body in those types of parts in your own body. Did I get that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is true for collagen, but it's not true for everything, right? Like it's not true. That's what makes collagen special. And that's why it's so important that if you don't have bone broth and you don't like have any other real source of collagen in your diet, which you don't if you don't do a lot of bone broth and strange kind of foods, um, then it's very important to supplement because we do actually need those things, and we especially need the ones that are in our bodies in the highest amount.
It's everywhere, right? It's like 90% of your body: hair, skin, nails, eyes, your bones, your blood vessels, your organs, your ligaments and tendons. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere.
Yes, it's hard to avoid it, and you're looking at it all the time when you look in the mirror, when you're looking at well, us. It's naked collagen.
So what are the best sources for type 1 collagen?
Yeah, so it's animals, of course, just to start with the very basics, because plants simply do not have or need collagen, so they cannot give us any collagen, no matter what they say. There's no such thing as vegan collagen. I'm just sorry.
We will do an
But
episode about that, by the way, vegan collagen. I know you and I are working through that research right now. I can't wait.
and then it has to do with the part of the animal, right? Because it's very much like our parts. Nature's very smart about recycling its technology, its inventions, right? So when nature invented skin for whatever was before humans, I don't know, let's just say something like a mouse, an underground mouse, but they had skin, right? So that same skin was recycled. The technology for making that skin was recycled over and over and over. So we may have very similar, we may look very different than mice now, but we still have very similar, like at our molecular level, it's the same building blocks in a lot of ways. So the collagen, we don't source our collagen from mice. I think we use cowhide. So cows have a lot of skin. They're humongous, so they have humongous amount of skin, and it's a very good source of type 1 collagen. So, but if we couldn't get cowhide, we could also get it from bone, right? You just have to boil the bones for a long time. So in terms of making it, it's you get more bang for your buck because you don't have to boil the skin, the hide for so long to get it to break down.
Almost every collagen supplement will have type 1 collagen because most of them are going to be single source and typically from beef. Exhausted that. That's great. Let's move into type 2, which is a really interesting type because it's from chickens for the most part. And it comes with some really special properties, and it really is close to our heart, type 2 collagen, because of the benefits that it brings and how it impacts athletes. And let's just dive into type 2, Roman numeral 2, collagen, and talk through where type 2 is found in our bodies.
So type 2 is used for our joint cartilage, so the shiny stuff at the ends of the chicken bones when you're eating a chicken, that is cartilage that coats the joints so that the little chicken legs and wings can articulate very smoothly and glide against each other. So that is like the job of cartilage, is to be a smooth coating inside the joint structure that enables the joint to slip and slide. And it has special properties that also make it retain other really important joint fluid that helps it glide. So it's different construction. When I was talking about type 1 collagen, I was talking about like how it needs tensile strength. So this needs a little bit of tensile strength, but it needs to be able to hold within it fluids so that it can have some bounce and give. And these fluids also serve to lubricate it. So it's just a different structure. That's why the histologists said, oh, this is totally different than type 1 when they looked at it under their super powerful microscopes and saw how it was made. It wasn't just like a big, stiff individual fiber, it was a smaller fiber that was capable more of branching. So that's why there's the different types, because they look different under microscopes and the body uses them for different things. So we get them from, they're in our joints They're in chicken joints. They're also in every other mammal's joints. But chicken bones are a lot easier to work with than cow bones. And that's really the fundamentally simple reason why we source it from chicken. It's not like chicken has this special property. It's just that the bones are smaller and easier to work with, and proportionally you get more more type 2 out of the chicken bones than the giant heavy beef bone.
I've got this picture of putting cow bones in a pot to boil it. Have to be a really big pot.
You do.
Type 2 collagen, again, is really close to our heart. We try to do a lot of education around this where, overly strong muscles and weak tendons and ligaments is a case for injury. And all right, so let's go ahead and move forward with type 3 collagen. Type 3 is also a common type. And let's talk through where type 3 collagen is in our bodies.
Yeah, it's in our skin and it's also in our arteries. And this is in the highest concentration because, in truth, pretty much all of these collagens have some presence in every single part of our body, but just in very minute amounts in a lot of, the parts where they're not highly concentrated. So the interesting thing is, what does it do in our skin? And it helps facilitate wound healing. So it is really also, I think, important for athletes or anybody that gets any kind of scrapes and cuts. And it also helps your skin stay youthful as you get older. But it also helps your arteries stay healthy too, because people who don't have enough type 3 collagen actually can get aneurysms more easily, which are damage to the arterial walls that actually kind of like the wall of the artery, instead of being like healthy and straight, there's like a big bubble in it, kind of like an old balloon. It's all like lumpy and weird, and it's very weak and can burst and kill you. So aneurysms are really bad. And so this type 3 collagen is essential in keeping your arteries healthy as well.
Yeah, in the infographic, we mentioned organs, blood vessels, structure of muscles, but you're saying for the most part, really, it has the greatest impact and most abundance in the blood vessels.
Yes. But I mean, your blood vessels are important for your organ health too, right? So, and your organs have blood vessels, right? So a lot of times when you're looking at, well, where does this come from? Um, it can be a little confusing because they'll say all kinds of stuff, but that's because the arteries are in all kinds of stuff.
What are the best sources for type 3 collagen?
Well, for supplement purposes, skin is another great source because it is just so easy to basically harvest, right? When you're taking animals apart and using their different parts for, but the skin, just comes right off. There's tons of type 3 collagen in there. It's a lot easier to deal with than trying to dissect out arteries and stuff. You're not going to find a lot of supplements that contain, arterial source as their type 3 collagen. But again, it could be any animal, right? So it just so happens that we get it from cow, beef, because they skin it. They got really tough. It's easy to skin. It's very tough. People don't eat the skin generally. Whereas with chicken, we do eat the skin. So it's softer. So it just isn't readily available for a supplement. But that said, I mean, eating chicken skin is also a great source of collagen. As long as it's not like bubbly and fried, kind of and crisped to death, right? So you can overcook even collagen too. It's a little more bioavailable when it's still got some suppleness to it.
We have a marine collagen in our multi-source collagen, and probably the most abundant type, is it safe to say, that is type 3, because we do use fish skin, and that's, like you mentioned, skin is very abundant of type 3.
Yes, absolutely. That's another great source of it as well.
All right, moving along. Let's do to type 5 now. And this is an interesting one for me because the where type 5 collagen is found is very different than the previous ones that we've talked about. So let's just go ahead and dive in there. And where's type 5 collagen found?
Is an interesting one that is really present in small amounts. It's not one of the dominant collagens. So any of these ones that's present in small amounts, you're going to find it in small amounts in a lot of weird places. So when I say weird, like one of them is like placenta, right? So the placenta is the what they call afterbirth, like after the baby's delivered, right? So the placenta is this kind of thing that sticks inside the uterine wall and sucks out nutrients from mom's blood and feeds it all to the baby. So how does type 5 collagen facilitate that? We don't really know. We know it has something to do with immune system function because there's a difference in the immune identity from the baby to mom. We know it has something to do with it is in organs, and we know it has something to do with organ transplant rejection. But as far as like understanding it very well, it is one of the major types of collagen still, but we don't really understand exactly how it helps. But anything that, we could consume in abundance, there is some chance that it could help.
You make some really amazing sound effect. The placenta, that was really good. All right, so type 5 collagen, because it is a little bit different, right? Placenta, and then also in the graphic that we have here in the article, it's also in the cornea of our eyes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the sources, of course, are interesting in how you would get that in a supplement. And so what we have listed is we have eggs, which in more particular, the eggshell membrane, and then a multi-collagen protein powder are your two options. Is that still accurate today?
Yeah, yeah, as far as a supplement. Now, believe it or not, I mean, people do eat eyes, right? I was trekking in Nepal a long time ago, and I had an eyeball served to me. I kind of ate around it. But then when I lived in Hawaii, I learned that there's such a thing as Filipino fish head soup. Again, the eyeball showed up, and that time I ate it. And because I was much more adventurous at that point in my life. And you can actually tell when you're biting into the cornea because it's very hard. It's like sticky and hard, almost like a cookie.
I was hungry before we started this episode, and I'm not so hungry anymore. So if you want to get type 5 collagen in your body, you can either take a supplement, which is what I would choose, or you can eat some eyeballs. All right, let's move to type 10,
Okay.
and let's talk about where type 10 collagen is found.
It's found mostly in growth plates, right? So when your bones are growing when you're a child, so before you reach your full adult height, your bones grow because there's this thing called a growth plate that is the only part of the bone that is able to elongate the bone. And it multiplies and multiplies, and that's how the bone gets longer. So that's called a growth plate. And that's where this type 10 collagen shows up the most in people. So, like, it could very well be that the strongest benefit to getting type 10 collagen is before you've reached your full adult height. Like it may be something that helps you to reach a higher adult height too. Like we don't really know what all these different things are, what some of these collagens have been really well studied and some of them haven't. And it's just kind of like, well, if there's enough of it and people used to eat enough of it, maybe we still need it. And that's kind of where a lot of the appealing logic that I find appealing comes from, right? Is people used to do it, maybe we still kind of need to do it, and we did. It's one way or the other.
Yeah, and in the graphic we talk about type 2 is the chicken collagen, we'll call it, right? And type 10 is the eggshell collagen, since eggshell membrane seems to be a great source for type 10 collagen. It doesn't get the hype that type 2 does, but still very important.
Right. And so like the fact that it's an eggshell collagen and it, just speaks to the diversity of how nature recycles and reuses these building blocks that it's created, right? So it's in growth plates and it's in like the albumin of an egg. Like you wouldn't think that those would have anything in common, but nature thinks that they do. So that's why you find type 10 collagen in those two seemingly radically different locations.
I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but again, you do enough Googling, you're going to find other types outside of these 5 types. One that we found was type 4, which is found primarily in the skin. From what we found, it aids in the filtration of the kidneys and the organs. And we have yet to see a supplement actually integrate type 4 into their collagen powder or collagen capsule. So, again, a lot of this stuff is very early on in its research, but you may find type 4 out there. Have you seen any other types, Dr. Cate?
No, I haven't. Just, I mean, partly because when they're present in such small amount, it's going to cost a lot of money to isolate it, and so I think it will probably be a long time, before, if ever, we see some of these things that are present only in tiny amounts. Like we're talking about like less than a percentage of any given tissue. So that means like the rest of that tissue, what are you going to do with this? It's totally wasted, right? So.
All right, Dr. Cate. So let's talk about something really important. We are a multi-source collagen, right? Multi-source collagen that has all 5 types. So a question that we do get a lot is, do you need all 5 types of collagen? And I know you and I have talked about this quite a bit, and we really don't want this to be self-serving, but we do believe in sort of eating the collagen alphabet. And you have a really great way. You have a graphic here in this article where you kind of give a quick response. And, what would be if you had a 30-second elevator pitch, right, to tell someone why a multi-source collagen is better than a single source? What's the real essence of that?
Each source has like a unique set of what we call bioactive peptides, which are like little instructions for making more of that source, right? So type 1 has these bioactive peptides that help your body make more type 1. Type 2 has bioactive peptides that help your body make more type 2. And if you don't get type 2, then your body's not going to be able to get the extra support to make more type 2, which is very important because that's your joint cartilage.
I love it. And basically, you could go through this, right, through all types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. And we simplify this. We say different sources, cows, chickens, fish, bring different collagen types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10, and bring us humans different benefits, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we have the research to show that that is true about some collagen types, but not others, just because it hasn't been done yet or investigated.
We're waiting for research to catch up, it sounds like what you're saying.
We're waiting for research to catch up. But I mean, there is like another kind of evidence that this stuff is important, and that is the fact that all cultures around the world used to incorporate these same body parts or these same ingredients into their diets all around the world. I mean, there's not a traditional culture that didn't make bone stock. So that kind of speaks to the fact that there's a lot of evidence that we might need to continue doing that sort of thing. And we've eaten these kinds of foods for a long time. I think for us to be ideally healthy, we need to know what our ancestors used to eat and we need to copy that. And if we can't do it in a culinary way, then supplementing is really a great option.
Is this your way of trying to convince me to eat eyeballs? Because it's maybe kind of working. Maybe no, actually, it's not working. Nope. Yeah.
I would be surprised.
Unless it's like, I don't know, covered in chocolate and I can't tell I'm eating an eyeball and someone tells me it's a marshmallow or something. I don't know. All right, Dr. K, this has been great. 5 types of collagen, multi-source. I mean, this is, the heart of CB Supplements because we just believe in multi-source collagen, and this is really educational. Your shirt looks fantastic, nice and ironed. Thank you for that, and appreciate your time.
It's been fun, Eric. I'm looking forward to next time too.